who are here in the back, thank you for coming. We see you, and I yield back. Mr. Fry?
No. I'm sorry. Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Garcia.
Illinois.
Mr. Garcia, I wasn't trying to skip you. I have to leave, so I'm getting Mr. Fry to come and sit in the chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before I make a few remarks, I want to just observe that the bulk of this hearing has been about illegal or unauthorized immigration, and we're supposed to be talking about legal immigration and visas and the visa system. In addition to that, people went as far as to talk about an existential threat. People talked about, inaccurately, about the last amnesty that was granted, which is incorrect. It was 39 years ago that Congress enacted the Immigration Reform and Control Act, known as IRCA, signed into law by President Reagan, for those who may be mistaken or were too young or not born yet to be able to talk about it as if it were a fact. But once again, we're here so that Republicans can pretend to be concerned about an immigration system that they have consistently undermined. For more than 30 years, 39 to be exact, Republicans, with a few exceptions, temporary ones, have rejected immigration reform and embraced largely a racist narrative that portrays immigrants as criminals and terrorists, all for short-term political gain. And I say that as a proud American who also is an immigrant to this country. And now, under this administration, we have a lawless, authoritarian regime that is terrorizing communities, kidnapping people off the streets, deporting U.S. citizens, including children with cancer, locking up nearly 60,000 people and depriving them of even food and basic necessities, and openly violating the law and preventing members of Congress from doing oversight visits. I experienced that last week with 3 other members in Illinois. And as my colleagues have pointed out, the administration is cracking down on legal immigration through overbroad and discriminatory actions targeting international students and imposing travel bans on 19 countries. It is a cynical and cruel campaign that does nothing to improve the lives of working families, and the people of this country see through it. That's why the president's polling on immigration is underwater. Even though Republicans don't want to fix our immigration system, it's more important than ever to promote a thoughtful and nuanced approach to these issues, and we can look to history to inform our path forward. Mr. Naurastad, thank you for being here today. I want to ask you about the Bracero program in the 1950s and 60s. That was a program, as you know. Do you think that it was more effective than the overly punitive system that we have in place today? And what lessons about the visa process can we learn from that program today?
It was far more effective than the process we have today. It was not perfect by any means. There were definitely problems, I think, in any of these programs. The problems, though, back then were largely caused by too many rules and restrictions, and frankly, by the Mexican government side, which sort of inserted a lot of corruption to steal wages from some of these workers. But what we saw was at the beginning of the expansion of the Bracero program in 1952, there are around 2 million or so unauthorized immigrants in the U.S., almost all of them from Mexico. And within a few years of this program, the border flows, the illegal crossings fell by over 95%. And the illegal immigrant population fell by 90% because they got these visas. This was ended, this program, in 1964, and that is when the modern illegal immigration program, or illegal immigration problem began, was because Americans still demanded immigrant laborers, but Congress had made it illegal.
Thank you for that. And I ask you that because it's personal to me. My father came to this country under that program, eventually became a lawful permanent resident and petitioned for us. That's how we arrived in 1965, another historic year in immigration law. So if Republicans want to restore integrity and I think you corrected the record, sir, and security to the visa process or enhance it perhaps, then they should stop criminalizing immigrants at large and destroying those lawful pathways. If America wants to stay the vital country that it has been and remain a beacon for the rest of the world, then we need to restore those pathways which have been shut down. Thank you, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I have a unanimous consent request. I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record this congressional research report titled U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Operations and Issues for Congress, and it shows that out of 10 million forms processed by USCIS in 2023, only 1.6% were referred to the Office of Fraud Detection and National Security for any